Hi folks, Mark here at Gilbo Realty doing a video today. I'm sorry, I've been so busy doing things to try to get my brokerage open in Florida that I finally got back to sitting down and doing a video. If you look, I've been looking at Dabney and Denham, seeing where the new inventory has been going. Has it sold? What's going on? How many homes are left? Where are we at? Taking a look at Multra Creek. Are things selling down there like they expected? I also looked at, what price ranges are Multra Creek selling at, because they have a ton of homes in that 200 to 280 mark. And obviously they're selling down in some of those areas just because of the schools are more family oriented. I do believe a lot of investors will buy in that area just because they think they can rent them out better. Watch my video from last week if that you plan on doing that, please. But I looked at Dabney and Denham, and let me pull up some things for you. I counted, let me zoom in here first. I counted how many homes were left here in this area, okay? And let me take off pending. So this is what's left in these areas. Now, I was on these streets. I did a video on this street and a video on this street a couple weeks back. They were completely still not sold except for one house, I think this one. So since like 3 weeks ago, they've sold 1, 2, 3 houses in these areas. They still have not sold a huge amount of homes here, selling sporadically, but nowhere near like I thought they would be after a month. A lot of these homes, like I was in this one open house, I was in this one, I was in a bunch of these open houses along this back street open houses. Across the street on Lake Creek, we're in a ton of open houses when I was there. I did a video on that. We went in at least over 50 open houses. I'm going through each one, just getting a general idea of what everything's selling for and what they're like, just so we can understand why are these things sitting. These homes are nice homes. They've had some discounted pricing, as you can see on some of these. But let me show you what I did. I counted all these up, and let me get over to Dabney. So if we zoomed in on Dabney, this is what I came up with. I did this little area, and there's 174 total homes for sale in this area, okay? And if that's just covering this area right here, 174 total homes. That's quite a bit. More than I thought there was going to be left after a month. Quite a bit. They're selling a few, yes, here and there. They're selling some stuff. But then I said, okay, well, that's Dabney. How much is left between both of these Lake Denham and Dabney? And let me give you that. Because if we look, there's 250 homes for sale between Lake Denham and Dabney. Okay, there's another 75 in Denham. And that does not include the lots up north, as you can see above Village of Dabney. So homes are not selling like they thought they would. And I think that seems to be, now I'm not saying they're not going to sell, but it definitely tells a trend. These are brand new homes. In the last 2 or 3 years, this neighborhood would have been gone in probably what, a month? You had to put a deposit down on these things immediately, or somebody within 15 minutes beat you to it. I mean, there was multiple people looking at homes while you were looking at it, deciding whether to buy this one or the neighbor's house, right? So you had to put some kind of deposit down to hold it. If you didn't do that, you lost your house within maybe an hour or less. So that is not happening today. As some of the Village's agents said to me while we were there, they said it's getting back to normal. That was a month ago. I think they're starting to realize that this is getting back below normal. I think sales are going to continue to slow as rates are still above 7% for most. And prices have really not dropped that much. Well, they've dropped, but not enough. And when you go from 2.75% in rate to over 7% rate, the prices have to come down so much just to match the payments people can afford. You're looking at affordability, and that's really what's off the charts. Okay, so let's go down to Moultrie and see what's going on down there. Now, this is the newer neighborhood. This is more for, families down here. They're going to have a bunch of stuff. They got a school here. But if you look here, they still have quite a bit. And if I pull up the pending, they sold a lot of these homes here along this little area here. These have all sold. And again, these are going to sell because I think there's a golf course here. Along the golf course. See, the prime spots always sell first. Along the waterfront. Okay. They're going to have a bunch of stuff down here, supposedly entertainment, but you do have, there's a football team, basketball team. You're going to be able to do a bunch of stuff at the school and go see some activities that you're not used to seeing north of this area. Now, this is still pretty far. This is a pretty good hike from, from all these areas. Definitely a very good hike to Brownwood if you plan on going up there. But even up to Citrus Grove, Case and Hammock, it's still a 20-minute ride is my guess on golf cart. Pretty much. We took Bexley Trail down. They didn't have all the golf cart trails open. We had to, turn off a different direction than we normally would because they weren't done yet. So my guess is it's going to be like a 15 to 20-minute ride when everything's open and ready to go. But a lot of the stuff is all cleared out. There's a beautiful golf course there. There's some nice things being built here for entertainment. And I do think that this will sell better than Denham and Dabney, obviously. And I think they're hoping, too, that it will. I'm surprised they still have a lot of lots at $0, so they're kind of giving the lots away for demand, probably. So instead of really reducing the price of the home, they're reducing the price of the lots. I mean, $0 lots, $1,000 lots. I mean, so they're saying, please buy me, really, on the lots, okay? I think if you put a deposit on the lot, you have 6 months to build or start building, just to let you know that. But, yeah, there's a ton of stuff. A lot of this has sold. I'm very interested in seeing what happens in the villages after, like, March, April, May, and June. I want to see what happens. Really, I want to see what happens after May. That's really where it starts slowing down. And listings are up so much. I just saw an article on Zero Hedge, I think it was, the other day, where they said inventory's up 45%. I did a video about the villages about a month ago where I figured out the village's inventory, and the village's inventory was up 45%. So it makes sense. It was right on par. They were just a couple weeks later than I was in publishing that information. So, yeah, inventory's way up across the board. Inventory in Florida is skyrocketing to this day. And there's some stubborn sellers out there. I understand why, because we just went through probably the highest sale they're ever going to get on their home in the last 3 years. But as we have seen in several homes, I can show you an example of this one. As we can see, the peak in the villages was mid-2022, as I've stated several times in my videos. And for instance, here's a home that they've rented out since 2018 off and on. But they tried to sell this last year in the middle of 2023, last spring. And it was $425 list price. They were not able to sell it even at $399, $275 a square foot. Now they just threw it back on the market, I think today. This is today for $350, a 12.5% price reduction, okay? So they're down to $241 a square foot, which is a much more aggressive price. This house also has a water view, which is obviously the first picture. But still, prices are coming down. Let's not fool ourselves. Realtors need to be honest with their clients and let them understand that, hey, times have changed. We're not in COVID anymore. That huge demand has fallen off. And this is going to be the new reality for a while, unless interest rates plummet to 4% or 3.5%. And but I don't see that happening. A lot of people were telling me a few months back that rates are going to drop. The Fed's going to lower interest rates. It hasn't happened. They actually raised interest rates. So I don't see any of this happening anytime soon. I still see, as of right now, I see prices coming down even further across the country as demand to purchase has fallen off dramatically. And, we're still at all-time lows for mortgage applications. When you hear that, then you know that it's going to get slow and prices are going to come down. So anyways, Mark here at Gilbo Realty. Take a look at some of these areas. If you're still looking for a new home, Lake Denham, Village of Dabney, the prices are a little bit lower than some areas, but Multra Creek seems to be an interesting area as to what they plan on doing with that down here. It'll be interesting to see what they do in these areas, how fast they sell out. I'd be interested in seeing what happens after June, May, June. But if you have any questions, post them down below. What do you see in the ground? Did you buy in Multra Creek? Anybody in watching this video here tonight that bought in Multra Creek, post us what you see going on, what you think, how the transaction went, where you bought. That's interesting. And why you bought. And did you sell something north of Multra Creek to come down here? I'd be interested in hearing that from anybody that knows. And anyways, Mark here, Gilbo Realty. Thanks so much for watching. We'll have some more information coming up. I finally got my corporation approved through the state of Florida. So we are a brokerage now in Florida finally. It's been 9 months of trial and tribulation with New York State to get us what we needed to do it. But we finally have it. I'm just waiting for our MLS logins, for the information from the local association, the Realtor Association. And then what I can do on a bunch of my videos coming in is a lot more in-depth look and data that I can yank up and present to you that I can't really do at the moment just because I'm using third-party applications. But I'm going to be able to present to you off MLS data what's really going on a lot more in depth. So anyways, have a good day. I hope everybody has a nice Sunday. Have a drink, have a cup of coffee, and I'll talk to you soon.